And we're on. Hello and welcome to podcast episode 101 of Rope Without Boxing, where the two Daves are here to bring you a bit of midweek boxing news and previews and reviews and all sorts of boxing business. As you're sitting there, guys, like, share, subscribe if you're new to the channel, obviously via YouTube. Look at Dave's actions there, the old like button, the old subscribe button, the little bell. And if you're listening via your audio podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, Apple, all those kinds of places, get stuck in there as well. We had a 2-hour, 30-minute podcast on Monday just gone with the great Mr. Liam Tully. That was a great episode. I've just about got through it. Didn't get to go through all our bits and bats we normally do, our David McDonald's and our prediction league and the winners weekly wager, which we're going to do today to get that out of the way, along with a couple of other bits I want to mention, which you didn't get a chance to. Apart from that, just kind of looking forward to Saturday. Paid me pay-per-view, getting all my kind of drinks ready before I go to work. Just excited about the card. Didn't think we'd have to talk too much about it, to be honest, Dave. We've done all our talking on Monday. Woke up yesterday. We found out that Floyd Schofield, for whatever reason, couldn't fight Shakur Stevenson. We've had a late replacement there. So that was a bit of a, how do you want to word it? A bit of a, in the sense of, it was all going too smoothly, and then all of a sudden we get one fight that's kind of lost. But on all those seven fights, if you was going to pick one fight that you wasn't that bothered about, even though that's hard to say because it's still a great fight, that would be the one. So you kind of don't mind that. We will touch on the opponent in a minute. Within the last hour and a half, just watched the press conference over in Saudi Arabia. We've learned that the world heavyweight champion, Mr. Daniel Dubois, not confirmed yet, but it looks like he's pulling out of the fight on the same kind of basis as Floyd Schofield did. And we're looking at another new opponent. It's the weigh-ins tomorrow. So we're looking at another new opponent. The boxing world is absolutely crazy. It's mad, but at the same time, it's fun. It's exciting. The Twitter world's gone crazy. The Instagram, Facebook world's gone crazy. We're all talking about who we want to get involved, who we don't want to get involved. Mate, what a crazy 48 hours we're getting in the boxing world, especially on a huge, the best card of all time. You couldn't make it up, could you?
It's just drama after drama at the minute, mate. Every time you see something coming up on your phone or something like this, there's just it's like it's EastEnders' 40th year this year. They're doing a live show tonight. It's almost like it's rolled into Riyadh season because there's things coming out everywhere. Like I say, this Floyd Schofield thing, I can't make heads or tails of it. Like, I've seen a picture of him in hospital and he looks fucking like dead from what his dad took him. And then on the flip side of that, remember the picture that you used to see when the guy used his earphones as like, have you ever seen it? When he uses his earphones to call in sick, and it looks like he's strapped to something, and it's his earbuds. Yeah, I don't know if you ever seen that.
It's like a meme, isn't it?
Yeah. He says, "Oh, I'm sick," and it's his earbuds put in like he's on death's door. It reminds me a little bit of that. Like I can't work out whether
it's fake. You mean?
Yeah, because like I say, because there's been a lot of talk about they were doing check weights, weren't they?
Yeah. Well, let's go on then. You carry on because I've done a cut of balance. Well, I was going to start with Dubois, but we're cracking to this Schofield and Padley and Shakur Stevenson. Go on, mate. Sorry.
Yeah. So it was like my chain of thought's gone now.
He's on about the conspiracy theory of.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah. So there was a check weight. There was a check weight going around that they have to do, and since then that's when the wheels started to come off. So there's been listen, it is all rumours, and Eddie Hearn's thrown his bit in and bits and pieces like that, and they were talking about him not being able to make the weight. So in that he said he's ill. Then a photo comes of him in hospital, and he looks more than ill. He looks, it looks serious. Then once I digested that photo, it turned out by the time I'd seen that photo, he's already out of hospital. He's checked out, and I think he's got. I don't know if he's gone back to America or whatever he's going to do, but he's out of hospital. So I just can't work out heads or tails. On the flip side of that, Josh Padley is up in a loft on the Tuesday morning, gets a phone call. He's fighting Shakur Stevenson for the WBC fight, so the title of the world. Like that for me is amazing. And I put a tweet out and said, "Joe, I am going to be Josh Padley's biggest fan on Saturday night. This for me, for him, is what boxing's all about. This is a Rocky, and you've got it right there. It is a Rocky story. You know, Rocky got pulled up by Apollo Creed because he liked his name, the Italian Stallion. This boy's, and don't get me wrong, I was in the trade, so I was an electrician and plumber. I've done exactly what it is. And for me, it'd be a dream come true to get a phone call to say, right, get on a plane to Saudi and fight Shakur Stevenson. Like, even though I never boxed, or anything like that, I would still go and do it. To me, it's a movie story. And if he goes on and wins, I swear to God, I will be doing cartwheels around Norfolk. And I say, just because of the whole narrative and everything like that. I wouldn't usually have a dog in the fight, but I like the narrative. I like the story. It just, and to me, as much as I say this, I find it very hard to believe that Josh Padley can win. But he looked good enough against Mark Chamberlain. Now I know, we're talking levels here at the moment.
Yes, we are.
Disappeared off the face of the earth. But some of these little things that come up, it's almost written in the stars, Dave. It's almost written in the fucking stars. That, you know what I mean? 2 days ago, that man was in a loft wiring someone's plug sockets and switches and whatnot. And 3 days later, he's in Saudi and he's a WBC champion. There'll be a film made of this. I fucking promise you. That if he wins on Saturday night, there's a fucking Rocky 12 is coming out, and it'll be Josh Padley as the star. And listen, I like the narrative of Floyd Schofield fighting him as well, because I thought, Floyd Schofield. We spoke about this with Liam. It's dared to be great. He's they don't usually call the names out of the champs. They usually build themselves up, get to a point. He's gone in early, and I like that narrative about it. And Liam put out there that he thought he would win. But you know what? I enjoyed it. I like this story more for Josh Padley. I really, really do. And oh my God, honestly, my head will explode on Saturday night if he wins. I swear to God.
You're going to explode now.
It's everything that comes around it. Like, what I mean? He's probably looking on Monday night. Josh Padley's looking forward, like the rest of us, to sitting at home and watching the card.
Yeah.
Tuesday night, he's on the fucking card. Like, I mean, that to me is amazing. I would love to for him to go on and do it. I really would. Out of everyone, I want him to win on Saturday night, and I mean that.
It's a big ask, isn't it?
It is a fucking big ask. Yes,
it's a big ask. It is, especially on this card as well, the best card of all time. I mean, I've been watching Fight Week all week, and obviously they talk about Don King cards in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s and things like that, comparing them. But obviously we weren't around then, or we were too young to watch boxing back then or understand what was going on.
Dave, let me stop you there a minute, mate. We've got some breaking news on the pod.
Go on.
I believe this to be real. Alfie just sent me this, and this is from the Ring Magazine's Twitter.
So it's
announced Parker versus Bakole. He did some downstairs. I swear to God, it said announced Joseph Parker will now face Martin Bakole in a heavyweight clash on Saturday night after Daniel Dubois was ruled out due to illness. Oh my fucking God. And we got this live. We got this live and exclusive on the Robodope pod.
You know what? That is fantastic. This is it. You just said about written in the stars. Josh Padley's got his chance from, as you just said, being in the loft, fitting electrical. Even I think he said he was doing solar panels on the Monday or something. Then he was doing the loft on the Tuesday. Gets home, gets a phone call. Next thing you know, he's over in Saudi, fighting for the WBC World Lightweight Championship of the World. He's got the opportunity to be the best fighter on the planet against a pound-for-pound superstar. These aren't. He's a club level. Well, he was a club level leisure centre hotel fighter. Got his chance against Uncle Turkey's favourite and Mark Chamberlain. Ripped up the script. Kind of disappeared, but he was put into the rankings, and now he's got the chance. He's got the chance to be the best and beat the best. And all of a sudden, we get Daniel Dubois that's fallen ill around about the same time as Floyd Schofield. Conspiracy theories all over the place. We've been calling it. The boxing fans been calling it. His trainer, Billy Nelson, does not stop. You talk about Eddie Hearn championing his fighters. No one does it better at the moment than Billy Nelson. He's got the opportunity now to get into that ring and show everyone that he is that guy. After Usyk, forget about Usyk. He's another planet. He's elite. He's done it. He is the undisputed champion. He had to vacate that belt. And Daniel Dubois took his chance against Anthony Joshua and kind of won a vacant belt. So he is the number 2 guy. Now he's fallen ill. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm guessing now, off the top of my head, Dave, I go back to the Joe Cordina situation when he beat the Japanese fella Ogawa for the IBF super featherweight title. Couldn't fight Rakhmonov because he broke his hand. And the IBF, how wrong it was, with all their ruling, they fucking stripped the poor guy. They stripped him of his title because he couldn't make that defense. Now, are they going to do the same with Daniel Dubois? It sounds like it. If Big Martin's flying over from Scotland over to Saudi Arabia to fight for it should be a vacant heavyweight title of the world. Whether that's right or wrong with Daniel Dubois, I don't know. We'll have to analyse it a bit more. At the moment, I don't care. What they've done here, Dave, everyone's been calling for it on Twitter, everybody on social media. I put about 50 tweets out today in the last hour and a half championing. This is the fight. This is the fight to make. If you want to keep this card, the Last Crescendo card, the best card ever, you need to put a 50-50 fight onto the card. Yes, we've got Josh Padley. We've explained our reasons why this is life-changing for the guy. You know, he's going to earn 6 figures. You know, his name's up in lights. People are going to know him. He's going to go in with the best. But it's not a 50-50 fight. The names of Wardley, the names of Bakole that was being mentioned, and there was another Russian German involved. I'm not too sure of his names. They're okay fights, but they're not 50-50. Uncle Turkey, he's just delivered another 50-50 fight. I can't wait. Yes, I'm buzzing. Big Martin's on it, Dave. Big Martin, Scotland's finest.
Yeah. And
wow.
Listen, do you reckon they might make Daniel Dubois champion in recess?
Well, that would be the most sensible thing to do. But I don't know if the IBF do that. I know the WBC and the WBA do it, but that would be the most kindest thing to do. But obviously, he's not ducking. It looks like he's possibly.
If it's a genuine illness, I think it'd be unfair to strip him. So there's got to be something in the pipeline that.
But they've done it. They've done it with Joe Cordina. He had a hand injury. He clearly couldn't fight with it, and they stripped him. So we've said it on here before about the IBF. They can be a bunch of cunts at times, but they stick to their rules. Yeah. So it'd be harsh on Daniel Dubois, but I'm being selfish at the moment, Dave. At the moment, he can't fight. Joseph Parker's just had a 12-week camp. He's got himself in shape. He's been signed a contract. He's been promised a purse to fight for the world title. He has to do it. And Big Martin stepped up, and Joseph Parker says, "I'll fight you."
Yeah. Do you know what? Fair play to Martin Bakole as well.
Fair play to both of them.
Do you know what? Billy Nelson champions him, and he does. And he answers every person that tries to dog him or say anything about him on Twitter. He's very active. He responds to everyone. And to be fair, he puts his name into the hat for a lot of things as well. And and then obviously none of us ever come to fruition. There's an opportunity here for it to happen, and he's took it. So fair fucking play to him and Billy Nelson.
Yeah.
Because they talk about it, and now they're proving it. And you know what? I wouldn't say that the card was still going to be good anyway. There's still great fights. I love the Josh Padley thing, and I love the Martin Bakole thing. And do you know what? This is just made the whole event even bigger and better for me.
Yeah.
Leading up to this, we're on Thursday night now. The announcement was made whilst we were on here as well, so we've got an exclusive. I don't care what anyone says. There's no one else podcasting right now that got that exclusive. We're
This is it.
They weren't even David McDonald.
And mate, this is it. This is a chance for both guys. Parker to get a title he's thoroughly deserved on the run he's been in since he was smashed up by Joe Joyce. Big Martin, the new boogeyman of the division that nobody wants to touch. He's been given a free. I wouldn't say it's a free shot because this is all about winner stays on. You could say the same with Josh Padley. He beat Mark Chamberlain, Chamberlain was supposed to go on and face Dennis Baranchyk because of Uncle Turkey being his favourite fighter, navigating his way into a title shot. Josh Padley ripped it up. So we have got the winner stays on narrative. You've got Zhang versus Caballel. Winner stays on. The winner should be fighting, for the WBC title next for whatever happens with Alexander Usyk. This is such a great time to be a boxing fan. You're right. Fights have fallen off. We've got a late replacement in Josh Padley. Fair fuck to your son. Go and chase your dream. Go and do it on Saturday night. We've had another one fall off. Oh, we don't really want a Coley, but we want Parker to fight for a title. You can't ask for a better opponent. You can't ask for a better opponent than Martin Bakole. This is it. This is his time.
I'm going to press you for it now. You know what I'm going to ask you?
At the end, because we've got to do Padley Shakur as well. That's probably the easier one. But
okay. Oh, we're going to do it at the end. No bother. Because we both said Parker would beat Dubois in our review with Liam the other day. But this is I haven't had time to digest this, so this is going purely off purely on the moment. So yeah. But anyway, we'll do that at the end. Yours is there that Big Martin. Get him on the plane. Well, you got your wish. It happened whilst we were on air, which is class.
He's on it. I just quickly, obviously, we're recording this on a Thursday evening, guys. Dave's just got in for work. I've got to go to work, so we could talk about this all night. I just want to quickly go back to the Floyd Schofield thing, mate. He was in Saudi on Monday. Yeah. Obviously, there's loads of conspiracy theories about this, about drastic weight cuts. He made himself ill. Team Shakur was poisoned him and something he ate and all that kind of thing. No, it's not proven yet. But when I saw him on Monday, he was doing his interviews with IFL and Radio Raheem and all these sort of guys. He looked healthy. He looked fit. He didn't look gaunt. He was talking a good game. He was looking forward to it. His backstory about being on the streets as a kid. It's his time now. He's going to grab it with all opportunity. He's done so much work in the gym, studying the Shakur Stevenson and all this type of thing. I thought, you do. I'm not going to back you, but I think Shakur Stevenson is levels above you. But go and get it, kid. But sometimes you look at them and they look a bit kind of gaunt, weight drained and things like that. And obviously the check weight that you have to do on Wednesday, you have to be within £3 of the actual weight. But obviously, I'm not from the optic test. He just looked healthy. He didn't look if he was, too light or too heavy. And after that, it's kind of gone tits up. And as you said, he's in hospital for a couple of hours. The pipes all hanging out of him. Then he's not in hospital. And then you've got his dad tweeting, wait till after we come out of Saudi Arabia and we'll see the truth. Then he's tweeting, I thank everybody in Saudi Arabia. It wasn't your fault. It's just a very, very odd situation. It was on $1 million. The rumours were he was taking home £1 million. Crazy money, really. Even £1 million probably doesn't sound a lot, but from his resume and who he's been in against to jump up and get a world title shot, it's fantastic money. He's not walking away from that. No way. I just find it very, very strange, very, very odd. And the British Boxing Board of Control, because they sanction it over there, they pulled the fight. So there's obviously something wrong with him. But what is it that's wrong with him? Is he got food poisoning? Has Daniel Dubois got food poisoning? Is it something they've eaten over in Saudi? Is there something in the water? I'm not accusing the Saudis of anything. How dare I? But it seems a bit of a coincidence, Dave, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, I'd say that listen, my whole building site, my office went down. 3 people went down this week with illness. The poor admin girl in my office. I sit a bit further back at my desk, overlooking everyone. And I looked round and she was spewing into a bag. So there's a bug going around. My supervisor, he's been off all week. So there's a bit going around. Listen, we're not in Saudi Arabia, but there's a lot of illness going around. So bugs they can go through. And I'm sure all these fighters are around each other. So bugs probably can go around. Yeah, you won't really know. But I was going to ask you there, Floyd Schofield, is he? Listen, I have no doubt that he will fight for a world title at some point. But do you feel that the shenanigans has happened? And don't get me wrong, we don't know for sure. Do you think it'll be a long time before he gets called back due to what's happened here?
I don't know. Until we get the medical reports, if the medical reports are released, it just looks a bit. I'm not even going to use the word iffy. I just don't understand, because obviously Daniel Dubois is the world champion. You look at his resume; he hasn't ducked anyone, he hasn't walked away from anyone. He's taken the best challenges in front of him, and he's got to where he is. He won't just pull out a night before the weigh-in. When you get paid, you have to get on the scales to get paid. Yeah, I don't know. I reckon it could be simply make this something that they've eaten and they're not going to recover in time to be fit and healthy to get in the ring and have the fucking shit. There's medicals for a reason. There's health and safety and doctors and nurses ringside for a reason. If you're not fit enough to get into that ring on doctor's advice, you ain't fit enough. And obviously the British Board of Boxing Control have pulled that fight. So hopefully Floyd Schofield and Daniel Dubois, they get well soon. But I'm buzzing again for Big Martin. I really am. Just quickly before we do a bit of Dave McDonald, mate, there's a couple of bits that I wanted to point out on Monday. I didn't get a chance. We spoke about the Nakatani fight on Monday coming. So we spoke about that. I wanted to speak about, just quickly, the name Tenshin Nasugawa. Now, if any hardcore boxing fans may remember that name from 2018 when he had an exhibition match in Japan against Mr. Floyd Mayweather. Do you remember him? The kickboxer with the yellow hair. Yeah, so he's on the undercard, right? He's turned into a boxer all of a sudden. He's turned into a boxer. He's on he's co-main on the Nakatani card on Monday. He takes on former world champion Jason Maloney. Now this tension, he takes on Jason Maloney. Okay, so he's 5-0. He hasn't really fought anyone of any merit. He's a kickboxing legend over in Japan, but he's not a boxing legend as of yet. So he's taken a fight against Jason Maloney. He's ranked number 3 with the WBC after 5 fights. So he's behind, off the top of my head, I know he's behind Estrada, someone else, and obviously Inoue is top dog there. Is it bantamweight? Is it bantamweight? I think it's bantamweight. It's Inoue or Nakatani. So he's only a fight away really from a world championship fight. But that's not the issue I had here. I looked at the betting for this, mate, and a guy that's only had 5 professional fights, it's been moved up the rankings to number 3, taking on a former world champion who's only been knocked out by Inoue Inoue. It's a 9-4 on favourite. And I've done a bit of digging. I've done a bit of reading. Jason Maloney's talking like he is the underdog. He deserves to be the underdog. He's talking like, I'm going to give it my best shot. Mate, have I missed something here? Have I missed something? 5-0, pushed up the rankings to number 3 by not fighting anybody against a former world champion. Been there, done it, worn the T-shirt, and he's the underdog. I think Jason Maloney's only 32, 33. I don't get that. So
it sounds like a brown envelope jobby, doesn't it? It sounds like a brown envelope jobby. Someone's backing him, and
I'll be tuning in. I'll be tuning into that, Dave.
So Joe, I'm intrigued with this now because I mean, if he comes in here now and does a number on Jason Maloney, then okay, fair enough. Someone knew that was something that we don't. But it does seem very, very strange. It seems iffy. You're talking about iffy with Schofield. This seems a bit iffy to be, plunging up to the rank, blowing up the rankings. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you could dine off for fighting Floyd Mayweather, but
that's 2018. And do you remember?
KSI's brothers fought him. So what's that do? Put him up in the rankings, does it?
I know, yeah, exactly. Well, we would go down the Ngannou route, won't we? But that was in 2018. He was still a kickboxer then. Floyd Mayweather put him down 3 times in an exhibition match. He started crying. Yeah, I just want to see what this kid's like. I just don't get that. I don't get the betting, and I don't get Jason Maloney kind of saying I want to give it my best shot. It should be the other way round. It's you stepping up to an ex-world champion. You beat Jason Maloney, then he goes, oh, okay, now I can kick on. Not the other way around. Very, very odd. That's kind of not so much of a rant. It's kind of I don't get it again. But also on Saturday night, guys, just quickly before Dave does his dongs, Luis Nery's back in action over in Tijuana. Talking about Inoue again. We haven't seen him since he was stopped by Inoue. He takes on the Japanese bad boy, Osaki Kameda. I don't know what weight this is at because Kameda's a featherweight and Luis Nery's a super bantamweight. So crack into that on ESPN if you want. But it was more about, I had a nosy at the undercard day. There's 16 fights on this card. So it was a bloody long night over in Mexico. I mean, if you're going to the show, fair fucks, take a bit of calm with you, have a few beers and enjoy it. It's a long bloody night. So I was having a scroll down there and I saw on there, mate, Mr. Frank Sanchez. So he's on this card. Yeah, we haven't seen him again since he was beat on Riyadh season last year by Ajit Caballel, the former boogeyman. He hasn't been out for nearly a year. So, okay, he's getting back active. He's getting back out there. He's fighting against someone again, get himself relevant. He's traveling into Tijuana from Miami. Okay, I totally get it. Do you want to know the guy that he's fighting?
Yes, please.
Right, so Frank Sanchez is still only 32. Well, he's Cuban, so he might be 42. Nobody knows. But on his box rec, he's 32. He's only lost 1 fight against a guy that's going to be more or less fighting for a world title if he beats Zhang on Saturday night. So there's no disgrace there whatsoever. So he's fighting a guy called Ramon Oliva, or Olivas, pardon my pronunciation. His record is, wait for it, 18-24. And in those 24 losses, Dave, he's been knocked out 22 times. And he's won 5. Yeah. He's won 5 in his last 22. And this is Frank Sanchez. Yeah. Can you imagine any of the top 15, right, including Frank Sanchez, especially, let's talk about the Brits in the top 15, going into a fight against somebody, a comeback fight, possibly a real deal fight against a guy that's been knocked out 22 times in 24 fights.
Can you imagine if that was Anthony Joshua?
That's my point. What is the point in this? Is it literally... Mate, is he literally stepping over the border to go and have a day out in Tijuana, jump in the ring for 1 round, knock this guy out and go back? It's going to cost him more in fucking flights, accommodation, and God knows what this promotional company's paid him. What's he doing? What's this? 18-24. The guy has won 5 fights in 22.
So, prediction.
Well, we'll wait to the winner's weekly wager. But yeah, I found that really odd matchmaking. I get it if the guy was kind of a journeyman, if you like.
Replacement. That's the only time that's acceptable. If it's if you're in with someone and the show's going to fall apart, and and they're getting a late replacement. Now, Mike Bakole's turned out to be the best late replacement I've ever seen,
ever.
But just to keep the show going and keep the guy busy or whatnot, you would accept anyone, and that's the only time you'd accept an opponent like this. But not something that's planned. I mean, he's going in with Frank Sanchez. He's got no chance of winning. So,
fucking hell.
What is the point? People people paying to see this. Imagine if people were coming just to see Frank Sanchez.
Well, that's a legit card. Nearest headlining, so it's just pay on the gate.
Madness.
Yeah. Let's move on.
All right, so it's for now tonight. David McDonald and the Dongs. Right, this man has just come off of his open top bus parade all around America and Mexico after his defeat to Canelo Alvarez. Hector Berlanga will face Jonathan Gonzalez Ortiz. Not sure I know who he is, on the 15th of March in Orlando, Florida. So this will be his first fight back since his defeat to, in his mind, he won for the way he celebrated the defeat. But this is his fight back since that loss to Canelo, and he's fighting Jonathan Gonzalez Ortiz. Yeah. I could just see this is a comeback fight. I'll be honest, I don't know too much about Gonzalez Ortiz.
I bet he's more game than Frank Sanchez's opponent of the weekend, mate.
Well, yeah, you can guarantee he hasn't got 24 losses on his record, that's for sure. But yeah, they're getting Berlanga out, and yeah, looks like it's
Well, I have seen that bit of news. That was like back end of last week, I think.
Yeah, I've gone right back to when we done this last, so it's about 10 days worth of news here.
Yeah. From what I've seen and what I've heard and what I've read, I think it might be his last fight on his Matchroom deal. And obviously Eddie's given him a bit of a below par opponent, I suppose. Whether there's enough money in the pot to pay him, I don't know. Whether he departs ways of Matchroom after. Eddie hasn't been singing his praises. Maybe he's been a bit of disappointment to him since he got him over from Top Rank. It's not a set your alarm clock fight, is it? To be honest, Dave.
No.
One trick pony. Edgar Berlanga talks a good game. You know, his early career was knocking dudes out for fun, like we spoke the other day about Xander Zayas. But Xander Zayas has gone on to be a boxer, whereas Berlanga's still the self-proclaimed knockout artist. I don't know. No, move on. No, it's not one that wets your whistle, is it?
It's not. But it's news. Nevertheless, it's an announcement. It's someone we know, and yeah, it's nothing meaningful. It's
probably a confidence. Yeah, it's a ring rust confidence fight. Knock him out and then get. But then again, he keeps doing that. We keep talking about 2 steps forward, three steps back. If Edgar Berlanga goes in with this kind of caliber of opponent, gets the job done, looks 5-star, right, and then he steps up again. So obviously not a Canelo level, but again to a contender, gets outboxed and beat. I mean, where do we go again? Do we go back to this sort of club level fighter? I don't know. But I don't think it'd be a match much longer.
In a fight like against Canelo, I don't feel the need to having to go in with an opponent like this after that. You went in with an elite fighter. Yes, you came up short, but you don't need to rebuild with an opponent like no one knows. You could quite easily lose to Canelo, which is no shame in that, and get in with someone else in the top 10. This fight is meaningless for that. It's not a rebuild after a loss to Canelo, not for me.
There's no reason why they could not have made Edgar Berlanga versus Diego Pacheco next. Winner stays on. There's no reason why they couldn't make that. They're both at Matchroom. It's a great fight to sell the narrative of the South. I think they're both. They're both Puerto Rican, aren't they? So is he Puerto Rican or Mexican heritage? One of the two. Anyway, it's a South American Latino war. You could sell the fuck out of that in New York. I don't know. I think Eddie's losing interest in Edgar Berlanga, to be honest, mate. But I agree. It's a rubbish level of opponent. Edgar Berlanga will probably get his confidence back. Knock this dude out. Yeah. Step up again and lose. So yeah.
Someone else that he could fight. So deal done. The upset of the year gets a rematch. Hami Mungai and Bruno Sarash will collide in a rematch on May 3rd on Rio de Season as a Rio de Season co-feature for the Canelo Alvarez-William Skull Undisputed Showdown in Saudi Arabia. Now, I fully agree that Mungai needs to put this one to bed, and I said openly he's going to absolutely take him out because he was lackluster. Well, he wasn't even lackluster. He just switched off and got his lights put out. Made a silly mistake, took him lightly, and he won't do that again. No, so this is someone Berlanga could be fighting. So it's one of them. But yeah, the rematch is on. It's not like a rematch that you would usually be up for because we wasn't up for the first fight. But because he got iced, it now makes this interesting. But not to the point that it wasn't up to that point. It wasn't competitive. Mungai was beating him for every round. But kept his hands low. I said in his pockets. His hands were in his pockets when he got iced. He will right that wrong. And then you never know. It could be a Berlanga Mungai fight.
Much better matchmaking. I agree.
Another announcement. Sebastian Fundora will defend his WBC and WBO world titles versus Shordell Booker on 22nd of March in Las Vegas.
Yeah. Shouldn't it be? It should have been a Virgil Ortiz. So it should have been a Majimov fighting for a title. Again, is he a PBC fighter, Booker? I'm not too sure.
I really don't know. I've got to be totally honest. I don't know a lot about him either, to be honest with you.
No, he's a box rec job, isn't he? It's not. Again, you've given 2 fights there. I'm more interested in Sebastian Fundora than I am Edgar Berlanga because at least Sebastian Fundora can box a bit, and he's the Tower Inferno. He's got the height, the reach advantage. He's an interesting character as well, and everything he does in the ring, the war with Tim Tszyu and things like that. But again, that fight doesn't get me hard. It's not one I'm going to set my alarm for. I'm going to watch it in the morning with my Cocoa Pop. So Yeah, I can't really elaborate on that, Dave. I don't know too much about the opponent. It's not one that jumps off the top of your lips. You know, it's a box rep job. It's a look at the resume. Who's he been in with? Yeah, whatever. What's on the undercard? I'd be more interested. I've got to admit.
Do you have any other cereal than Cocoa Pops? Because you watch a lot of boxing with Cocoa Pops.
No, it's a bit early for a beer, isn't it? So
yeah. Alexander Usyk has revealed that he plans to retire from boxing after 2 more fights. He has welcomed an undisputed heavyweight title fight against Daniel Dubois or Joseph Parker /
or
Martin Bakole.
Thank you.
And he would do that as the winner of the first 2. So, yeah, Usyk's saying he's got 2 fights left. He would like to probably be undisputed 2 times over, and then go fair enough. So Usyk can do whatever he likes. He's the elite. He's clocked boxing. He can do whatever he wants. Fair play to him.
Can't top that.
A bit of sad news, this one that came out late last week. Joe Gallagher has announced that he's been diagnosed with stage 4 bowel and liver cancer. So everyone in the boxing community sends strength and best wishes to the former trainer of the year. It's a bit of sad news there for Joe Gallagher. You know, he's been around for a long time, trained multiple world champions, been a great trainer. Still is. Don't get me wrong. We're not. You know, he's not.
He's out in Saudi now.
Huh?
He's out in Saudi now. Yeah. One of his fighters are on the card on the prelims. One of his Saudi fighters that's based there. Tasha Jonas is out there with him. It is sad news. My dad's had cancer 3 times, come through it. He's in his 80s now. If my dad can do it, Joe Gallagher can do it. Everyone can do it. So the boxing community is behind your son. Good luck. It comes to a lot of people. You're a tough guy. You know, you've got good support around you. So we just wish you the best, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. I echo them sentiments, mate. Another announcement: Ben Whittaker will rematch Liam Cameron in a light heavyweight clash on April 20th in Birmingham. Get down there, Dave. It's not far from you.
I think I'm off as well. I think I'm off that night.
We should have a little look.
I think so.
You can get the highest seats in the stadium that I get, mate, and you still just be there soaking the atmosphere up. Yeah. You'll get that for 30 quid.
It's not quite Wembley Stadium, but yeah.
Well, no, it's not. No,
it's the only fight. Joking aside, it's the only fight to make. He needs to right the wrong there. He couldn't have moved on without that fight. It's been. Did you see the press conference when he was eating his pasta?
Yeah.
He's still as cocky as anything, isn't he? I mean, he's a bit like he's turned into Marmite, isn't he? Yeah, you like him or you don't. He's very evasive. I'm still not convinced that he was injured. You go back and look at the footage, mate. It's very WWE like. He looks like to me and a lot of people, he does throw himself over. He wasn't enjoying himself in there. Liam Cameron was very comfortable with the power. You know what? I don't know. I don't like to use the word hype. He's an Olympian. You know, he's very skillful. He's good to watch. But he possibly could be. If you can't get Liam Cameron out, does he mean he's finished? No. Of course it doesn't. Can he build from that? Maybe Liam Cameron's the guy that's got his kryptonite. Most fighters do have one, but I'm not as confident in saying when we come to do our predictions, mate, when that fight does happen in April, and saying Ben Whittaker, does right the wrong, skills him, does the showboats in him, takes him out. Liam Cameron's fucking tough, He's tough, and he kind of knows what. I felt your best shots. You ain't hurting me, motherfucker. You've got to take me out another way.
I heard something I was going to mention when Liam was on Monday night. So Ben Whittaker also won a silver medal at the Tokyo Olympics, along with Keyshawn Davis. And you're looking at the trajectory of their careers at this moment in time, after 13 fights or 14 fights. Keyshawn Davis is world champion. And no disrespect to Liam Cameron, but Ben Whittaker was struggled in the first fight. We'll see what happens in the rematch, but struggled at domestic level.
It's his first proper test. Yeah, he has. You're right.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So, So it was and I went to bring it up because we were so packed in and we were 2.5 hours deep. I thought I better not. And your missus was going crackers. Yeah,
she wasn't happy. But you're 100% right as well. And then we've got a lot to say about Top Rank, and they're his promotional company, and they've got him a world title shot in 14 fights.
Yeah.
So exactly. they do good, don't they? You're right. Yeah. Their careers are kind of separating now. Keyshawn's kicked on from domestic. Yeah. He's world champion now. Ben's struggling, and Ben was supposed to be that guy.
Yeah. So it's a funny old game, mate, as they say. Another announcement, plenty of these tonight, mate. William Zepeda will defend his WBC interim lightweight belt in a rematch against Tevin Farmer on March 29th in Cancun, Mexico. I wouldn't mind going to that, mate. I've spent a little bit of time.
Cards are in. It's in Mexico. Cards are in, mate. Forget it. Unless Tevin Farmer knocks him out, it's look, we love Cepeda on here, and I'm in love with him. I'm not going to jump off the train because he had a piss poor performance. He still won the fight. If Tevin Farmer doesn't stop him, the judges are going to be looking at the activity once again of William Cepeda. The coming forward, the constant throwing, the front-footed fighter, the non-stop throwing, the point scoring. Yes, Tevin Farmer may do the better work. He ain't going to get the result unless he knocks him out. That's my opinion, Dave. And I'm a massive Cepeda fan.
Yeah, I thought Tevin Farmer in that first fight was very good. I thought he was unlucky. It was a close fight. It was very unlucky.
And he put Cepeda down. He's not even. Tevin Farmer's not known as a puncher. He's known as a boxer, a mover.
Yeah. So it was a good fight the first time. I'm intrigued in that rematch, but I know it stinks a little bit that it's been dragged to Mexico. It was very close the first time.
Not stupid.
Yeah, I can see the scorecards being silly in this. Before it's even started.
I can, mate. Yeah.
Something else that's silly, and I totally disagree with this, and I'm sure you'll be the same. The WBA president, Gilberto Mendoza, has said they would consider trialing the return of 15-round fights for certain high-caliber contests after Teofimo Lopez said that he believes undisputed fights should be 15 rounds. Not for me, mate. So you go back. I mean, I'm one of them that go back and watches the old fights and that. And don't get me wrong, 50 rounds is a long time, and there was health reasons as to why they went down to 12. And even at 12, you see people gassed and people getting hurt. I know, the UFC do it for championship fights where it's 5 rounds, but again, that's 25 minutes. You're doubling the time in boxing for that, and so not for me. I don't agree with it. I'm not a fan of it. I would never be a fan of that. And on the flip side of that, sometimes you get 12 rounders that are fucking hard watches, stinkers. Can you imagine if they had another 3 rounds to a stinker? So but not for me, mate. For health reasons alone. 15 rounds, no. And I know fighters will come out and go, I train for 15, 20 rounds in the gym and all that. Yeah, you do, and I'm sure you are fit, and fair play to you. Do it, we don't. But at the same time, sparring ain't fighting, mate. Sparring ain't fighting. And if that ever did happen, there would be more injuries and more deaths than we currently get. It's not for me, mate.
Yeah, no, you're right, mate. I 100% agree. Plus, the face of boxing said it's not going to happen on his watch. Turkey had a shake, Uncle Turks. So no, forget it. Silly idea.
And I say the last piece of news came through just as I was coming upstairs. They're all these governing bodies are all coming out there trying to be different and trying different things because Turkey shook the world. But we'll come to that in a minute. Another announcement, and I quite like this. And I think you mentioned it on Monday night, but it was news, so I'll mention it now. Richard Torres Jr. versus Gildo Vanello, which is the Gladiator, in a heavyweight clash on April 5th, which is my daughter's birthday, in Las Vegas. I quite like this. Now, I've got my reservations about Richard Torres Jr. I think he's wide open, but I think this is a test. The Gladiator's proved that he's a decent enough heavyweight. So I like this fight, and I'm looking forward to seeing this. This is a test for me for Torres. He gets through this, then you can start thinking maybe, I wouldn't say he's the real deal, but maybe he's going in the right direction. He's wild, he's explosive, but he's wide open for me. So we'll see how he deals with Vanilla. On the 5th.
And after Jared Anderson's performance at the weekend, mate, it's all the states have got at the moment in the heavyweight scene. So he's going to have to do something. Yeah, great bit of matchmaking. It's about time now. We keep speaking about it every week with or without Liam here. There's got to be a point where you matchmake, you put your hand in your pocket and you give an opponent to a Richard Torres Jr. that's going to ask him questions. And I think Vianello will. If he comes through it, then there we go. Top 15. Let's start at number 15, work your way up and see how far you get. But this is the test. Hopefully, I'm a fan of Torres Jr. I like him. I don't want to see him get iced or anything like that or beat up. So yeah, it'd be a good fight. I'm excited for it, and we'll review and preview that one. But hopefully, he doesn't fall at the first hurdle, because you've got to remember as well, which I'm starting to get frustrated with. It's on Top Ranks, but I know he's co-promoted. But the future world champion Jalilov, well, he's a top ranked fighter. He's the best of the rest in that top ranks heavyweight books. So. You're not going to put him against Jalilov, but going back to the original point, mate, big test for him, good test. Will he come through it? Who knows? But it's about time. It's about time.
So I had 3 other bits of news, but it was all to do with Josh Padley and Shakur Stevenson. So we've spoken about that. So my last piece of news, and this is another thing that you might like this as it goes, but it's another thing that these governing bodies are having to do because Turkey's shook the world with what he's doing, that they have to try and be different and have to try something new. Anyway, a boxing Grand Prix confirmed. So listen to this, David. You might already know. Mauricio Suleiman has now confirmed plans for a boxing Grand Prix. 4 weight categories: featherweight, super lightweight, middleweight, and heavyweight. 32 fighters per division. Fucking, I don't know where they're going to dig some of them up from. First round is 6-round fights, and the final was an 8-round fight. 5 events in total in different Saudi Arabian cities. Special rules: no draws, open scoring in use, instant replay, and fighters from 41 countries around the world. Starts in April. So obviously this has been in the works because it started in April. That's 2 months away. But yeah, thoughts on that?
Well, firstly, I like it. It keeps contenders. Well, I'm hoping. I'm just hoping some of these belts are fucked off. Hopefully, there aren't belts involved in this contender series. I hope there's not belts where they still have to pay sanctioning fees so they can all keep moving on. Hopefully, that's not the case. And it's a good way of keeping contenders / prospects keeping busy in the boxing world. But what I can't understand is, Dave, you just said there's 6-rounders there. How do we not get it? What if there's a draw?
They said there are no draws.
How?
This is what
what if it's 3 rounds apiece? How does that work?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, why do you not do it 7 rounds and then you have to win the round?
I don't get
you know
that.
What I mean? So it'd be 4-3. But
that already it sounds like if he's scoring, Dave.
6-round fights, and the final is 8-round fights. 5 events in total in different Saudi Arabian cities. Yeah. Special rules: no draws, open scoring in use. Right. Not sure what that is.
Well, open scoring is they let it over the tannoy, don't they? We've seen it in boxing.
So they'll call the rounds as it goes, so you know you're winning or losing. Okay, fair enough. Do you know what that means? People roll the dice, quite like that.
But yeah, I'll give you a scenario. Probably won't happen, but I'll give you a scenario. Say you get 3 10-8 rounds. The boxer A knocks the fighter boxer B down 3 times. The first 3 rounds, 3 10-8 rounds, you're winning. And it happens, boxer B knocks boxer A down 3 10-8 rounds. The last 3, you've got a draw.
Yeah,
I don't understand that. I need to be more educated. I'm not trying to be controversial, but you see what I'm saying. How does that work? I don't understand. You can't get a draw.
Instant replays. What does that mean?
I suppose it's like the kind of a VAR. As long as it's off the top of my head, as long as it works within that minute's break.
Yeah.
The rest time, then yes. We saw what one did we see recently? I think it might. Oh yeah, it was Virgil Ortiz Jr. against Boyachuk, the first knockdown. The referee said it was a slip, and they used the VAR or the video replay to kind of confirm that it wasn't a slip. It come off a punch. It was a knockdown. I'm all for that if it's the right result.
To be fair, Dave. To be fair, and again, we didn't have enough time to mention this, or it slipped us by. But I wanted to praise the referee in the Jack Catchell fight because he had the same thing where Jack Catchell, supposedly knocked him down. Knocked Barboza down, but he stepped on his foot. And the referee spotted that in the fight, and because it was so quick, it looked like a legit knockdown, and the referee called it straight away and said, no, he stepped on his foot. See, had that been called a knockdown, Jack Catchell's the champion, or Jack Catchell wins. And I praise the referee for that because it's been so easy for the referee to back Jack and let that go. Do you see what I mean? So I had a lot of that was a big thing in the fight for me because that changed everything. And I thought, everyone gets a lot of stick for brown envelopes and going to the other side and that. It would have been easy for the referee to call that a knockdown, and he didn't. And I think he needs praise for that.
Yeah, but, they all got it. They all got it right on the night, didn't they? The judges and the refs as well.
They did. And that is it, mate, for David McDonald and the Dongs.
Thank you, kind sir. Nice bit of news there. Prediction league update. Obviously, we've done the predictions for the weekend coming, but I didn't go through the league with Liam here. So I'll give you an update on how it's looking, guys. Going into last weekend's action, the Keyshawn Davis weekend, the scores were myself on 1, and Mr. Holland was leading the way on 3 points. So I'll give you the results and see where we ended up. Keyshawn Davis against Berenchek. We both went for Keyshawn on points. So that was a point apiece there because of Keyshawn getting the knockout. Xander Zayas against Spoma. We both went for Xander Zayas on knockout. Dave went round 3. I went round 4. He done it in 9. So that's 3 points apiece there each. Abdullah Mason versus Jaime. We both went for Mason. Abdullah Mason. Sorry, get rid of that, Dave. Abdullah Mason for the KO. I went 5. Dave went 6. Mason done it in 4. So that's 3 points there again. Jared Anderson against his Greek opponents. We both went for Jared Anderson on KO. How wrong we would be, but we still get a point each there for getting the right victor. Jack Catchell versus Arnold Barboza. We both went for Catchell, so nothing there. And Reece Bellotti versus Michael Gomez Jr. Dave went for Gomez Jr. by knockout in round 8. I went for Reece Bellotti by knockout in round 8. Yes, it was an RTD, but we still class someone here as a stoppage. So I get the 3 points there. So the scores on the doors at the weekend were David Holland 8, David Graham 11. I'm back in the game. The scores going into the Last Crescendo, guys, is David Holland 3, David Graham 2. So he's leading by 1.
Well done. Well done.
Yeah, so it's hopefully it's going to be nip and tuck all year, mate. We're only in February, so yeah.
Like I say, the way we've done it before meant you could be fucking 30, 40 points clear. At least this can keep it a little bit interesting, you know. Yeah. I mean, obviously, because the 2 years we've been doing this, I've absolutely smashed you. So at least this makes it easier.
So you're doing it on my behalf, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I've done you a favour, yeah.
So the weekly wager, the winner's weekly wager, goes to myself. I won last week. I think this is the first one I've done. Dave's normally we done one together. Shaq and Pitters, because we had a draw. But the obvious one I would have gone for, but me and Dave have got obviously. I'll tell you what, we've got the winner's weekly wager there.
Yeah,
I think it's obvious with. No, I'll tell you what, I'll do the winner's weekly wager, and then we do Shakur versus Padley. I think it's obvious the way we're going to go. But I'll surprise you guys, for the winner's weekly wager this week, I'm not going to go for Shakur Stevenson. That would be the obvious one to go for. So we've got £16 in the pot. Last week, Dave went for Jared Anderson to knock out his opponent in 2 rounds. That didn't happen. But he got Jared Anderson right, which means I turn that point into £1. Dave doubles it, makes it £2. So in the pot going into this weekend is £18. But for my banker this week, the winner's weekly wager, I might shock you, or really I might not. It's not we didn't preview, but we spoke about it on today's show, and I want to make as much money for the charity of your choice, you guys' choice at the end of the year, to get as much money in that pot for whoever deserves it. And this week, Dave, my banker of the weekend, I want to go for Frankie Sanchez. I'm going to go for Frank Sanchez to knock out his very chinny opponent in Ramon Olivas in 1 round.
We haven't predicted that fight.
We haven't predicted that fight, but it's a fight happening on the weekend.
Oh,
so
well, fair enough. I'm going to go for that. I thought you'd have gone for Nakatani on Monday.
Yeah, I could have gone for that, but I think if I want to put as much money in the pot for someone that's deserving of it,
yeah,
and obviously I'm hoping the 6 points come, which means you double it, so it means there's another £12 in the pot. So I can't see the point in this fight, but hopefully something good comes out of it, because if Frank Sanchez loses this, he might as well hang up his gloves, and I will call for retirement, because 22 knockouts in 24 fights is pretty poor. Well, first round knockout for Frankie Sanchez.
Class.
So that was our winner's weekly wager. Just before we go, obviously 2 fights that have changed. Dave, Shakur Stevenson versus Josh Padley. Thoughts on the fight, how it's going to go, and the result. And obviously we'll end the show on Martin Bakole versus Joseph Parker for the IBF World Heavyweight title, mate.
It's a tall order for Josh Padley. He's daring to be great. It's the last minute. I love the story. And you know what? I'm going to back him to win. I'm going to go for it. I want it that bad that I'm going to. You know what they say when they dream it into reality. I am. I'm going to pray it into fruition. And I'm going to go for Josh Padley to win on points. On Saturday night, I think and then there'll be the excuses. I didn't train for this fighter, all that sort of stuff. The guy's going to be the new Rocky Balboa. He's going to, again. And also, you like the
storyline, don't you? You like the storyline. That's what you're going for. You know he's not going to win.
The storyline has grabbed me so much that my head's gone with it. My heart is ruling my head. But you know what? I'm so buzzing and how they've turned this around. I'm so buzzing with the whole thing that I'm willing to risk it all. And Josh Padley's going to win on points. On the flip side of that, it's a tall ask. Shakur Stevenson is class, and he's the world champion. And yes, he should easily make light work of this. But the story's got me, mate. So I'm going for a Josh Padley win.
Yeah, well, I can't. That's a bold statement. And next week the scores will be Dave Hodden 3, Dave Graham 3, and I'll be picking next week's weekly wager. That's a fact. I love the story. We've said about it in the start. He's probably only going to earn 6 figures now. He won't have to go to work on Monday morning when he gets back to the UK. People are going to know more about Josh Padley. He's in there. He's daring to be great. We can go through all the repertoire of what it's about. And I just got to say good luck to him. Go and grab it, because you may not ever get this opportunity again. You've gone from the small halls. You've gone from the hotels, the leisure centres. Now you're on the biggest stage fighting an elite pound-for-pound star. good luck, son, but you're at your depth. This is either Shakur Stevenson masterclass, or he might possibly stop you at the end. And I'm going to go for the Shakur Stevenson to stop him round 10. It's too much. It's too soon. There's levels to this game. But like Dave says, and I totally agree with him, I'll be one of the first to be running around the streets, screaming and praying to whatever God, Jesus, Buddha, Allah, whoever. Fair play to you. It's a great story. I just can't see it, mate. I just can't see it.
If Josh Padley wins, next Monday's show will be the greatest show you've ever heard in your life. I swear to God, I will be going crackers on it. So, yeah.
I haven't looked at the odds yet, Dave. But if you like that story, you like the narrative, the way it's going to go, the way you've planned it, the way you're thinking about it, have a bet.
I'm going to stick a couple of quid on it. I'm going to stick. I've seen people put bets up today of them backing him against Mark Chamberlain. He was 13-1 and stuff like that. He'd be bigger odds for this. He's got to be.
And no one fancied him against Chamberlain. We certainly didn't.
No, he come out of nowhere, and that's what I love about it. That's what I love about this sport in general. Is that people can be working on Monday and fucking in Saudi Arabia 2 days later on a Riyadh card. That's just magic, mate. You don't get that in any other sport. You can't imagine someone being at work on Monday and then playing for Man United on Wednesday, just out of nowhere. No one's heard of him, putting a kit on and getting a game. So for me, it's magic, mate.
It probably hasn't even hit him yet. He'd probably been happy with a Lonsdale belt, mate. That would have probably been an overachievement for Josh Padley, So
that's what I mean. He's just propelled from, probably hasn't even won an English title or British or anything like that.
Southern area,
and he's fighting for the WBC title, mate. It's a movie. It's a fucking movie. Honestly, mate, I'm just so buzzing with that. Out of all of them, that's the one I'm looking forward to the most now. And then you look at the names on there. Yeah,
I've got to be honest. I've been watching it all week. I love the attitude and the swag. There's something about Carlos Adames this week, mate. This is going to be. I don't know. There's something. This ain't going to plan for Hamza Shiraz. I hope I'm wrong. Like I said on Monday's pod, because I'm a massive Shiraz fan. He's got something planned. He's going to shock a few people. I think Adames, and he's not even the favourite, and he's the champion. So that shows kind of British bias, if you like. But you said you're looking forward to that one now. I was looking more forward to Carlos Adames and Hamza Shiraz, but it's got to be Bakole Parker now. That's getting me hard. That's getting me horny. You talk about stories. This is the story. This is the guy that comes over and breaks Joseph Parker's heart now. Nobody wants to fight Martin Bakole. We've spoke about this so many times. Other boxing podcasts speak about it all the time. Radio stations, social media sites, TVs, sports stations. He's the most avoided guy. Now he's got his chance. A fair play to Joseph Parker. He's not saying, well, I don't want to fight him, probably because he'll lose a lot of money if he doesn't. The IBF have done whatever you want to think about it to Daniel Dubois. That's their rules. There's a free belt on the line there, a vacant belt. Both you're going to try and grab it, but this is about Scotland's finest, the adopted Scotsman, Big Martin, mate. Yeah. I love Joseph Parker, and I backed him to beat Daniel Dubois, but I'm going Bakole. I'm going for Martin Bakole.
Do you know what I am as well? I backed Parker to beat Dubois, but do you know what?
I feel so guilty.
I do as well, because I said to Liam and yourself on Monday night that I thought that the Andy Lee factor was a massive factor in this fight. I know he talked about Don Charles and rightly so for what he's done for Daniel Dubois, but
it's the Billy Nelson factor now.
Yeah, I like it. I wouldn't, to be honest, if it would have been announced when he was here, I would have gone Bakole. I you know what? I get vibes of Bakole. I get vibes of Joe Joyce Parker. I can see that sort of happening. You know, when Joe Joyce
hurt him, isn't he?
When he dropped him. Yeah, I can see the Daniel Dubois. For me, he's beatable, and we've seen what's going on. And like I say, he's against straight lines. But excited about Bakole. He's a big, fucking strong lad, and I think that he's gonna. I think he's gonna stop Joseph Parker, and I think he's gonna stop Joseph Parker in round 8. I just got the way I see it. I keep seeing that again. Joe Joyce, when Joe Joyce dropped him and knocked him out, it was hefty. I've got that vibe with Martin Bakole.
Mate, you're right. It'd be like all that work for nothing, wouldn't it? It'd be back to where he started. I can see exactly the same what you're saying, Dave. You know what's worrying about Martin Bakole as well? You go back to that Jared Anderson fight. He doesn't even sit down his shots.
No. I know. He just throws them from here. He just throws them from here.
Capture.
You imagine the power that's behind it. But again, it's written in the fucking stars. He jumped on a plane. It's fucking Thursday night for Saturday. These things be banana skins out, but that's what's made it exciting, man. I honestly, I can't fucking wait. I honestly can't wait now.
See how Turkey makes things happen. See how Turkey makes things happen. So obviously he's going to have some sort of medical before he steps in the ring. Obviously he won't need a check weight because he's a heavyweight. So there's an unlimited weight category. He'll have to have an eye test and things like that. Turkey will have that weight for him when he gets off the fucking plane. He's ready to go. He was in camp to fight a Jagba.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He was already in camp.
Yeah.
So the Jagba was that. Yeah. What's happening with that? We don't know. But who cares now?
Well, yeah, no, you're right. But on a FE Jagba, to be fair to Jagba, he's probably relieved. And at the same time, if his promotional company want to play with his management, Turkey would just give him a bit of step aside money because that was a final eliminator as well. So that was a final eliminator for the IBF. So the winner of that, even though FA Jagba should be anywhere near a world title shot, the winner of that would have faced the current IBF champion. So it really IBF kind of makes sense how they've done that. So and obviously that the fans want it, the pundits want it. The names people come to me saying Bakole with a kind of but Wardley, it'd be nice for him, but Bakole, we've got it.
Yeah,
without
you've got a big hand in that. You tweeted Billy Nelson, didn't you, this afternoon when it was announced?
I think so. Yeah,
you might get a shout out for they ran from the Rope-a-Dope pod. He was the one that put that in my mind.
I'm going to work now, and I hate going to work, but I'm going to go to have a big smile on my face, and I'm going to be I'm going to upload this, re-listen to our work, and I'm going to go on other different podcast platforms, have a nose at what they've got to be saying, and as if we weren't buzzing already, Dave. Now we've got Big Martin making his way over to Saudi,
exactly,
and possibly. Well, highly likely, from what our prediction, mate, that he's going to be the new heavyweight champion of the world. And that mixed in.
What round did you pick for Bakole, mate?
I'm going to go the same as you. I want to go round 8.
Okay.
Oh no, it's just to be different. I'll go round 9. I was
going to say you're trying to cement your win for free there, but we'll let that one slide once.
I already have with because you've gone Josh Padley. So
listen, if Josh Padley wins, don't even bother totaling up the rest of the scores. Just have me as the winner.
Yeah, I think I might do actually. Yeah.
Just say, listen, we're not doing it this week. You win.
I thought Liam's was a bold statement on Monday with fucking Floyd Schofield, mate. But you've chopped that. You've chopped that. But
I've been sold the dream, mate. Well, from the whole story, I'm all in. I'm a massive Rocky fan as well, so that's what's done it.
Definitely. Where you watching it? Obviously, I'll tell you just quick because I'm at work. I've had too many sick days off. I've purchased my pay-per-view via the Zone. So I'll have it on my phone, I'll have it on my telly. So when I wake up, I've got my daughter's football on Saturday morning. I'll go back to bed. I'll set the alarm for 4:30, and I'm not fucking shitting out of that bed until I've got to go to work. And I should run
leave
about 9:30. So after
get most of it then.
No, I'll get all of it. So what I'll do is after just say it's the what am I thinking that. The interval between the second and last, I should run to work, so I'm back to work, so I don't miss a bit. But actually, I'll watch it on my phone as I'm walking down the road, so I've got enough 4G left. Either way, I won't be missing any of it. But you're off; you don't work weekends, so how are you consuming the content? Mate,
I'm going to be at home with Alf. I'm going to watch it with my wife. We're going to get a few drinks in, so I'm going to be a bit levered. And I'll be pissed if Josh Padley wins. So there'll be some madness. You'll have the voice notes that'll be coming across if Padley wins. I'll have a few Budweisers in me. Will be epic. Let me tell you.
Will you be singing the Flower of Scotland if my
fucking right? Yeah, I'll put my kilt on and run around Norfolk.
Well, his trunks are like a kilt, aren't they?
Yeah. I'll be watching Braveheart straight after. I'll be doing everything, mate. Fucking, I will walk 500 miles. Be playing on my Alexa. There'll be fucking everything going off, mate.
Oh God, can't wait, guys. Can't wait. And the work won't wait for me, so I've got to fuck off. So that's the end of episode 101. Like, share, subscribe via YouTube, Spotify, or Apple, along with a 5-star review, as nothing else will do. We'll be back on Monday, guys, to review everything that's happened in Saudi. We've been joined by SW Fight Hub's hostess with the mostest, Mr. I don't even know his second name. It's called Sam. He's the guy that does the content with Liam, who was on Monday. And in the week, I think it's the week after, we're getting the other disciple on, if you like, Mr. J. I can't remember his name either. His second name. Off Jay's Fight Talk. Yeah. I'm getting so tongue-tied here, guys. Without so many notes, I'm all Bacole'd out. But yeah, we're getting those guys on. Sam will be on with us Monday to go for everything in Saudi. So until Monday, have a great weekend, guys. Stay safe and just enjoy the Last Crescendo. Because I think me, Dave, the boxing community, everybody is listening to this. And if you're not a boxing fan, just fucking get it on. You won't be disappointed. No. So until then, peace out, Dave.
Take care, Monday, mate. Brother. Have a good one. Ta-ra.